Hello and welcome back. Susan Zumo here, intuitive and originator of soul patterning harmonics. I'm going to call this week's video July Frequencies Part 2 because as soon as I finished last week's video, I was impressed to continue with the information that was coming in and to give you all a reading on the next week. So I'm going to put this out in the next week, July, but the information is still going to be applicable. So as I'm tuning in and listening to the information that I'm getting, I'm impressed to convey that we may be feeling at this time very pressured, very compressed, with lots of weight pushing in all directions. And the Galactics wanted me to talk about this, and they wanted me to give you this information because sometimes we experience pressure and think of it as a bad thing. We don't like to feel put on or put upon. We like to feel expanded and expansive and out there, and it's not comfortable to feel that kind of pressure. And so what they were telling me was that the pressure that we are feeling right now, and the pressure is continuing from the first video for July Frequencies into next week, in order to move us forward. That we tend to, when we are left to our own devices without an internal or an external pressure, to just kind of exist on inertia. And it is important at this time for what is within us that needs to move, to shift, to be released, to expand, has to come to the fore. And so the events that are happening in our personal lives and in the outer world, as well as internal pressures, are designed to bring these things to our attention so that we can release them. We tend to carry around a lot of inner stuff, old emotions, old patterns, old thoughts. We call them coping mechanisms, right? They allow us to work around those inner things that aren't necessarily of benefit to us, but they do allow us to continue forward, to live our daily life, and so we don't pay attention to them very often. Now is the time for that to come to the fore and for us to release them. So if there is an aspect within you that finds itself frustrated with others, even if they're minor frustrations, that's an area within self that is really going to pop, and it's going to be in your face all the time until we go in and shift that within ourselves. And so meditation is going to be important at this time. Inner explorations are going to be important at this time. Self-forgiveness is going to be really important at this time. And deciding what our priorities are. Do we really want to carry around that anger with that person that annoys us? Do we really want to keep that competition energy around ourselves at work? Do we really want to participate in gossip? These are the things that we are going to become aware of and that we are really being asked to look at this time. And so for some of us, that's going to mean disturbed sleep patterns. It's going to mean that our thoughts don't settle. It's going to mean that we may feel agitated and not know why until we go look for the reason. Now, on the other hand, they want us to know that there are going to be some wonderful and beneficial things coming in that will be presented to us on a regular basis. If we are paying attention, we will be able to embrace them. It may be an offer of assistance. It may be something that we've wanted to manifest and is now starting to make itself known to us. And so that's going to be important as well. What they conveyed to me for this week and for the week ahead is awareness, to be aware. not to repeat patterns mindlessly and endlessly, but to make conscious decisions to move forward from them or to expand them. So if you've got a thought pattern within you or a belief system within you that is beneficial, well, now's the time to focus on it. Now is the time to expand it. Now is the time to grow it. And so by being aware of our own thoughts and beliefs and feelings, we have the opportunity to shift them. And that's going to make a difference for each and every one of us. For some of us, it may be the opportunity to embrace travel. It may be the opportunity to explore something new that you've wanted to do. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture or a big, 4-week cruise or something like that. It can be something that has an interest for you, something that holds your attention. Maybe it's just taking a class online that you've wanted to take, or doing that splurge for yourself that you've been holding off on. Now is the time to treat yourself, to affirm for yourself that you have value. Now is the time to look at all your relationships, decide which ones are going to move forward with you and which ones to release with love. You don't have to walk up to the person and say, you know what? Our frequencies don't match anymore, so I'm letting go of you. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is release them within yourself. Send them love, wish them well, surround them in light, and allow events to unfold for themselves, rather than having to control and direct and orchestrate everything. Stop worrying. Stop worrying about anything. That doesn't mean to be impractical. It doesn't mean to run away from responsibilities or actions that need to be taken. It doesn't mean, again, to stick your head in the sand and hide. It just means to stop worrying about it. Stop investing your emotion into it. All that emotion that we expend in worry doesn't really do us any good. It certainly doesn't change the outcome ever. It just makes us suffer between now and the outcome. And I don't know about you, but I'm tired of suffering. We don't have to suffer anymore. So make a choice not to suffer. Make a choice not to worry. Make a choice to know that if you do your part and you do what you need to do, the universe is going to do the rest. God's going to pick up the slack. Your unseen help is going to step in. I call that the law of grace. For me, that means that if I do everything in my power to do what I need to do, then everything else in the universe is going to step up to fill in the space, fill in the gaps, and complete it for me. That's my unseen support. And believe me, it's taken me a long time to get to that place, but I'm there, and it's a much better place to be. So I'm going to encourage you, let go of the worry. Let go of the stress. Yes, apply yourself to the things in your life that you need to apply yourself to, but don't fret them every step of the way. Affirm a positive outcome for yourself and everyone involved. Affirm harmlessness for yourself and everyone involved. This is a time where you can invite wonderful things into your life, expanded love, expanded connections. And the information that I'm being given is to tell you that if you will do this, you are going to be so happy, so relieved, and so at peace as we move further into the year. Don't jump onto other people's worry wagons. Don't move yourself into someone else's belief system that's not beneficial for anybody. Step back, step within self, call upon your higher, ask your soul to step in and embrace you and surround you in that energy. And if you are firm in your own energy, then you can expand that out to others and hold that space for them. And that's a wonderful service that you can give to others. So for the second part of July frequencies, or frequencies part 2, I want you to remember how much control you have over yourself and how much control you have over your own feelings and emotions. And if you're feeling out of control, then you can take control and do something about that. Reach out, reach in and up. All the resources are there for you. There's never a need to suffer alone. You don't have to do everything yourself. You'll have to do the work yourself, but you will have support and you will have guidance if you ask for it. Ask. This is the time to ask. So I hope that that gives you something positive to look forward to. And I hope that this part 2 gives you an opportunity to really consider some of the things in your life that you want to dive deep into and some of the things that you want to let go of. We have all kind of options ahead of us, especially in the month of July. Let's make conscious choices. Let's decide to move forward. Let's decide to uplift our frequency and to live a wonderful life filled with joy and love for ourselves and for everything around us. And we can absolutely do that. So once again, feel free to reach out. Classes are coming, they're starting. I'm going to be working on new workshops as we go through the month because that's what I'm going to be expanding. I want to expand my ability to be of service, to teach and guide so that others can move forward and have a wonderful love and light-filled life. That's what I'm looking forward to in July. What are you looking forward to? Make your priorities, and absolutely wonderful things are going to follow from it. So I hope you enjoyed this quick reading, I guess you could call it. July Frequencies Part 2, whatever you want to say. Again, I really appreciate everybody watching. I love the comments. What makes me feel great is to know that these are of benefit to you. And so thank you so very, very much for letting me know that. Until next week, I wish you many, many blessings.